Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is County Court at Law number 6 in Bexar County. This is Judge Wayne Christian. We are having our plea and motion to revoke probation docket. Today is Thursday, August 5th, 2021 at approximately 2:30 p.m. Before I go into all the laundry list of cases we're doing today, we need to get Mr. Hobbs out of here. So Mr. Hobbs, are you ready on Ms. Rogers' case?
Yes, Judge, I'm ready.
Great. Hang on. Okay, this is cause number 648476, State of Texas versus Laura G. Rogers. Ms. Rogers and Mr. Hobbs, I have one document for you to identify your signature on. The document is entitled Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference. Ms. Rogers, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Mr. Hobbs, as attorney for Ms. Rogers, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Next document, Ms. Rogers, is entitled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions that purports to have your signature on the back, effectively waiving certain constitutional rights you must waive in order to enter a plea before this court. In fact, ma'am, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. By signing this document, are you telling me that you've had enough time to either read this document or have it read to you in its entirety? If you had any questions about what was on this document, those questions were answered to your satisfaction by your attorney, Mr. Hobbs. So that in signing this document, you're telling me that you agree with and understand everything on this document. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hobbs, attorney for Ms. Rogers, have you had enough time to go over this case with her? And in your opinion, is she mentally competent?
Yes, Your Honor, to both.
Excuse me, Ms. Rogers, are you a United States citizen, ma'am?
I am.
And Mr. Hobbs, has the state fully complied with discovery for you on this case?
I believe they have, Your Honor.
Ms. Rogers, for the charge of theft, is this, what level theft is this?
Class B, Your Honor.
So 100 to 750, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so the charge of theft, $100 to $750. How do you plead, ma'am?
It's going to be no contest.
Is there an agreement for Ms. Rogers?
There is, Your Honor. It's going to be a JSAT.
Got it.
Yes, Your Honor. The agreement is a $0 fine, court cost, 1 day in the Bexar County Jail, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, and we ask that this judgment be satisfied, Your Honor.
And defense, is that your understanding of the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Ms. Rogers, in cause 648476, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of theft, $100 to $750. I find you guilty. I assess a $0 fine plus court costs, 1 day in the Bexar County Jail, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, judgment satisfied. Anything further from the state of the defense on Ms. Rogers?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing, Your Honor. I just asked that we be excused.
You are excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Laura, you can go ahead and log off. I'll try and get a copy of the judgment sent over so you can go take it to the bond people.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Judge. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Cases we have set today, cause 650107, State of Texas versus Juan Marroquin Vasquez, represented by Mr. Michael Dominic. Cause 648476, State of Texas versus Laura Rogers, represented by Mr. Colin Hobbs, we just did. Cause number 658419, State of Texas versus Samuel Cox, represented by Mr. Andrew Priest. Cause number 661833, State of Texas versus Storm Gracia, represented by Mr. Leslie Sakanowitz. Cause number 661801, State of Texas versus Paul Martinez, represented by Mr. Matthew Brown. Cause number 657442, State of Texas versus Anthony Delgado, represented by Mr. Charles Mice. And I guess there was a substitute in there for Mr. Mice. And Mr.
I apologize. Thomas Siller for Charles Mice, just standing in for the plea only.
All right, all good. Thank you, Mr. Hilly. Cause 661931, State of Texas versus John Lighton, represented by Mr. Isidro Montoya. Cause number 635473 and 636512, State of Texas versus Marcus Vasquez, represented by Mr. Nathan Slimane. Cause number 647483, State of Texas versus John Arriaga, represented by Ms. Julia Hernandez. Cause number 617879, State of Texas versus Richard Bruni, represented by Ms. Ashley Morgan. Cause number 656802, State of Texas versus Sandra Jasso, represented by Mr. Kyle Ernst. Cause number 658404, State of Texas versus Little Cisco Salinas, represented by Mr. John Gilmore. Cause number 659694 and 659693, State of Texas versus Jimmy Rodriguez, represented by Mr. William Simmons. Cause number 661269, State of Texas versus Monica Moreno, represented by Mr. Patrick Montgomery. Cause number 649533, State of Texas versus Jeffrey Anderson, represented by Mr. Michael Valachek. Cause number 656547, State of Texas versus Miss Aloisa Martinez, represented by Mr. William Davidson. And cause number 662709, State of Texas versus Eric Johnson, represented by Mr. Leslie Herbst. We also have 1, 2, 3, 4 MTRs. The first one is cause number 627043, State of Texas versus Maynard Rodriguez, represented by Judge Joanne De Hoyos. Cause number 647967, State of Texas versus Amber Naranjo, represented by Christopher Castro. Cause number 649199 and 655842, State of Texas versus Michael Casanova, represented by Mr. Shannon Locke. That being said, Pat, are we ready on the Spanish MTR and the Spanish plea?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's see. Do about half these pleas, and then we're going to jump in and do the MTRs, get those guys out of here and do the rest of the pleas. Stand by while I get organized on our multi-plea technique. Okay, are we ready on State of Texas versus Sam Cox, 658419, Mr. Priest?
We're ready, Your Honor.
And are we ready on State of Texas versus Paul Martinez, 661801, Mr. Brown?
Yes, we're ready, Your Honor.
State of Texas versus Anthony Delgado Jr., 657442, Mr. Hilly? Did I get that right? Mr. Hilly representing Mr. Delgado?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, all good. State of Texas versus John J. Lighton, cause number 661931, represented by Mr. Isidro Montoya.
We're ready, Judge.
Cause number 635473 and 636512, State of Texas versus Marcus A. Vasquez, Nathan Slamane. Mr.
Your
Slamane.
Honor, I'm sorry, Judge, I couldn't unmute. I'm present. I don't know if Mr. Vasquez is on or not. I don't see him, but I see there's somebody on there, his iPhone. Mr. Vasquez, if you're on, can you unmute yourself and announce for the court?
I tried. I don't know whether that is him. He would be the only one I have not identified.
Hey, Mr. Marcus Vasquez, if you are online with us, you may be on your cell phone.
Can't hear.
Say something.
He says he can't hear.
Okay, I apologize, I can't hear that. Is he here or not here? All right, well, let's put this off to the side, and if he shows up, great, we'll put him on the next batch. How's that?
Sounds good, Judge. Thank you.
All right, clause number 647483, State of Texas versus John A. Arriaga, Julia Hernandez.
Yes, Judge, we're present and ready.
And 617879, State of Texas versus Richard A. Bruni, Ms. Morgan.
Judge Terry Carter, I'm here for Miss Morgan on Mr. Bruni. We're ready.
Update my paperwork. Got it. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking at documents for each of you that are titled Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference that purport to have both the defendant and the attorney's signature on it. Mr. Cox, in clause 658419, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Mr. Priest, as attorney for Mr. Cox, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. In clause 661801, Mr. Martinez, is this your signature on this document? Paul Martinez with us today?
You would?
Yes, Your Honor, he is. I don't see him now. There he is.
There he is.
Hey, Mr. Paul Martinez, can you hear me? This is kind of tricky. You got to make sure your microphone's turned on.
Okay, there he is. I can hear you.
Okay, we got Mr. Martinez on?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Martinez, is this your signature on this document that's titled Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference?
Yes.
Was that yes?
Yes.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Brown, as attorney for Mr. Martinez, this is also your signature on this document.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. 442. Mr. Delgado, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Hilly, as Mr. Delgado's attorney, is this also your signature on this document? or one of the attorneys in your office. Look like Mr. Mice. Would this be Mr.
Yes.
Mice's signature? Fair enough. Okay, and cause 661931. Mr. Lighton, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, it is.
And Mr. Montoya, as attorney for Mr. Lighton, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And cause 647483, Mr. Ariaga, is this your signature on this document?
He's muted, Your Honor. Can you unmute yourself?
Is Mr. Ariaga with us today?
Yes, he is.
Yes,
Your
he
Honor.
is,
He needs to
Judge.
unmute.
I can hear Julia, but I can't hear Mr. Ariaga.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh, gotcha now. Is this your signature, sir?
Yes, sir.
Hey, thanks. Mr. Hernandez, as attorney for Mr. Ariaga, is this your signature also?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And call 617879. Mr. Bruni, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Ms. Carter, as attorney for Mr. Bruni, it appears to be the Ms. Morgan's signature, another attorney in your firm on this document. Is that correct?
That is correct. It's Miss Morgan's signature, Judge.
Okay, the next document I'm looking at is entitled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions, that purports to have each of your signatures on the back, effectively waiving certain constitutional rights you must waive in order to enter a plea before this court. Mr. Cox, is this your signature on this document, sir? Mr. Cox, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Hey, thanks.
I have a question.
What's your question?
The address is wrong. I thought it was paperwork going to get sent to me.
Okay, say that one more time. You're breaking up on me. Go ahead.
The address on there is wrong because I thought it was going to get sent to me, but it's the wrong address.
The address would be on the data sheet, Your Honor. That can be dealt with probation.
Thank you for bringing that up, Mr. Priest. When this is all said and done, would you just contact Pat and get her the correct address, and we'll ensure that it gets corrected on the documents?
I will, Judge. I believe it's a judgment satisfied, so I don't believe there needs to be a data sheet.
Okay, fair enough. And Mr. Priest, is this your signature? No, this new document. That's Mr. Martinez in clause 661801. Is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Delgado in clause 657442. Is this your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And in clause 661931, Mr. Lighton, is this your signature on this document? Mr. Lighton, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, sir.
And is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And in clause 647483, Mr. Ariaga, is this your signature on the document?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And in clause 617879, Mr. Bruni, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Each of you, by signing these documents, are you telling me that you've had enough time to either read these documents or have them read to you in their entirety? If you had any questions about what was on these documents, those questions were answered to your satisfaction by your attorneys. So that in signing these documents, you're telling me that you agree with and understand everything on these documents. Is that correct, Mr. Cox?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct, Mr. Martinez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Mr. Delgado?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Mr. Lighton?
Yes, it is.
Is that correct, Mr. Ariaga?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct, Mr. Bruni?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Priest, as attorney for Mr. Cox, have you had enough time to go over this case with him? And in your opinion, is he mentally competent?
I believe he is, Your Honor.
Same question for attorney for Mr. Martinez, Mr. Brown.
Yes, Your Honor, to both.
Same question for attorney for Mr. Delgado, Mr. Hilly.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Same question for attorney for Mr. Lighton, Mr. Montoya.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Same question for attorney for Mr. Ariaga, Mr. Hernandez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Same question for attorney for Mr. Bruni, Ms. Carter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Cox, are you a United States citizen, sir?
Yes, sir.
Same question for Mr. Martinez. Can you hear me, Mr. Martinez?
Yes.
I cannot hear you, Mr. Martinez. Keep trying. What are you saying?
I hear you.
All right, Mr. Martinez, are you a United States citizen, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Delgado.
Yes, sir.
Same question for Mr. Lighton.
Yes, sir.
Same question for Mr. Ariaga.
Yes, sir.
Same question for Mr. Bruni.
Yes, sir.
You. As attorney for Mr. Cox, Mr. Priest, has the state fully complied with discovery for you on this case?
I believe they have, Your Honor.
Same question for attorney for Mr. Martinez, Mr. Brown.
Yes, Your Honor, they have.
Same question for attorney for Mr. Delgado, Mr. Hilly.
Yes.
Same question for attorney for Mr. Lighton, Mr. Montoya.
Yes, Your Honor.
Same question for attorney for Mr. Arriaga, Ms. Hernandez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Same question for attorney for Mr. Bruni, Ms. Carter.
Yes, they have, Your Honor.
Okay. In cause 658-419 to the charge of reckless driving. Mr. Cox, how do you plead, sir?
No contest.
You're in agreement for Mr. Cox?
No contest.
I got it.
Okay.
Cox.
There's no fine, Judge. Court costs, 2 days, Bexar County Jail. Credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, judgment satisfied.
Is that correct, defense?
That's our agreement, Your Honor.
Hey, Mr. Cox, you gonna slow down?
Yes, sir.
Good answer. Okay, the court accepts your plea of no contest. The offense of reckless driving, I find you guilty. I assess a $0 fine plus court cost, 2 days in the Bexar County Jail. Credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, judgment satisfied. Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Cox?
Not from the defense, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Good luck, Mr. Cox. Thank you, Mr. Priest.
Thank you, Judge. Might I be excused?
Yeah.
Okay, good luck, Mr. Cox.
Mr. Martinez, to the charge of unlawfully carrying a weapon, how do you plead, sir?
No contest.
Is there an agreement from Mr. Martinez?
There is, Your Honor.
The agreement is there is a $500 fine, court costs, 12 months deferred adjudication, 24 hours of community service, provide proof of a valid vehicle registration and driver's license, drug offenders education program, forfeiture of the weapon, regular UAs, and TIC case number 665772.
And defense, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
And I'm guessing this is a handgun, does that sound right?
Correct, Your Honor.
What kind of handgun is it? Like what make? Mr. Martinez, what kind of handgun is this? You might. I'm sorry?
It's breaking up really bad. What was that?
Say it again, please.
It was breaking up. I couldn't hear anything.
Your Honor, it's a Glock 19.
All right, instead of destroying this thing, Mr. Brown, would you be willing to take it as additional attorney's fees with the understanding it's not going to be returned to the defendant, his family, or his friends?
Yes, Your Honor.
Martinez, is that okay with you, that we don't destroy it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then that's what we're going to do. Okay, cause number 661801, Mr. Martinez, court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of unlawfully carrying a handgun. Although I have enough evidence to find you guilty, I'm going to withhold the finding of guilt, place you on 1 year deferred adjudication probation. It says a $500 fine plus court costs, 24 hours community service, requiring as part of your probation proof of vehicle registration and a valid Texas driver's license. DOEP course, defense motion to forfeit weapon is respectfully denied. Weapon is awarded to defense counsel as additional attorney's fees with the understanding it's not to be returned to the defendant, his family, or his friends. taking into consideration clause 665772, which is granted, it shall be dismissed. Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Martinez and 661801?
Nothing from the defense.
All right, good luck, Mr. Martinez, and thank you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And in cause 657442, Mr. Delgado to the charge of resisting arrest or search. How do you plead?
No contest.
Is there an agreement for Mr. Delgado?
Hey, you just not plead guilty, man.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Who's talking, please? I'm sorry.
The agreement is a $0 fine, court cost, 1 day in the Bexar County Jail, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, and we ask that this judgment be satisfied, Your Honor.
Is there any restitution owed to any police officer out there somewhere?
Don't believe so, Your Honor.
Okay, and defense, is that your understanding of the agreement? Mr. Hilly, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Delgado, the court accepts your plea of no contest, the offense of resisting arrest. I find you guilty. I assess $0 fine plus court costs, 1 day in the Bexar County Jail, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, judgment satisfied. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Delgado?
Nothing.
No,
further.
Your Honor. May be excused. Good to see you.
Thank you, Mr. Delgado. Thank you, Mr. Hilly. Okay, Mr. Lighton in cause 661931 to the charge of theft, $100 to $750. How do you plead, sir?
No contest.
Is there an agreement for Mr. Lighton?
Yes, Your Honor. There is a $150 fine, court costs, 9 months deferred adjudication, ATSE course, 48 hours of community service, no contact with Robert Ferguson and Troy Loft, and also, Judge, no contact with 9012 FM 1976, and that's in Converse, Texas, 78109.
Okay, let me get all this down. Hang on. Okay, Mr. Lightning, cause 661931, the court accepts your plea of no contest to theft, $100 to $750. Although I have enough evidence to find you guilty, I'm going to withhold a finding of guilt, place you on 9 months deferred adjudication probation. He says a $150 fine plus court costs, ATSE anti-theft course, 48 hours community service, or you have no contact with Robert Ferguson, no contact with Troy Lott, no contact with 9012 Farmer Market 1976, Converse, Texas, 78109. Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Lighton?
No, Your Honor.
Good luck, Mr. Lighton. Thank you, Mr. Montoya.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honor.
Okay, Mr. Arriaga, on cause 647483 to the charge of driving while license invalid enhanced. How do you plead, sir?
Guilty.
Is there an agreement for Mr. Arriaga?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is a JSAT agreement, Your Honor. I just need the number of days of jail time.
Oh, God, let's see.
I'm looking right now too.
Yeah, you haven't given me any details. You just say JSAT. How much time does, I know that. He's got 1 day in jail, so you can say 3 days in jail if you want to. The sheriff can give him 3 for 1, so can you.
Yes, Your Honor. So there's no fine, court cost, 3 days Bear County Jail, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, judgment satisfied.
And defense, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Now let's cut to the chase. What does Mr. Arriaga need to do to get a driver's license so we don't have to meet like this again?
Your Honor, I've done some research and he is able to get it. He does have to go in and retake the test, but he doesn't have any holes, so he should be able to get it once we're done with this.
That would be good. Because Mr. Arriaga, if you and I meet under these circumstances again, it would be infinitely more unpleasant. Do we understand each other, sir?
Yes, sir.
Don't drive without a license. All right. I've yelled at you enough. Have a nice day. Thanks. Y'all are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Bruni and cause 617-879. Wait, state you have motions, it would appear.
How do I go? Excellent.
Yes, Your Honor. The state moves to waive and abandon the DWI charge and proceed with an obstruction charge.
All right, well, let's do it the proper way. Basically, the state is moving to amend the information to add paragraph 2 alleging obstruction of a highway, right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
No objection from the defense, that will be granted. And then state is going to waive paragraph 1 and the open container enhancement and proceed on paragraph 2, obstruction of a highway. Is that accurate?
Correct.
And no objection from the defense to either of those motions?
No objection from the defense, and we waive our 10 days.
Good, both are granted. Therefore, Mr. Bruni, to the charge of obstruction of a highway, how do you plead, sir?
Guilty.
Is there an agreement for Mr. Bruni?
$800 fine, court costs, 14 days, I'm sorry, Judge, 14 months deferred adjudication, 48 hours of community service, DWI education, VIP live, CAT snip, Smart Star mobile device for half the term, and regular UAs.
Defense, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Judge, that is our understanding of the agreement. Mr. Bruni has done the DWI education as well as the victim impact panel. We would just ask that he receive credit for having done those up front.
Wonderful. He just needs to show that to his probation officer, and we'll certainly give him credit for it. Let me go through this and make sure I get it right. Mr. Bruni, in cause 617-879, the court accepts your plea guilty to the offense of obstruction of a highway. Although I have enough evidence to find you guilty, I'm going to withhold a finding of guilt. Place you on 14 months deferred adjudication probation, assessed $800 fine plus court cost, 48 hours community service, DWI education course, DWI victim impact panel, both of which you've already completed, and just provide proof to your probation officer, and we'll give you proactive credit for those. Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program, which is our outpatient drug program. Smart Start Mobile, home interlock at 4 blows a day for 7 months, and regular analysis tests. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Bruni?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing from defense, but actually I stand corrected. Is probation just going to reach out to him in the next few days, or how are we?
That's a good question. Is Susan with us today?
Yes, Your Honor, she's supposed to be.
Yes, I'm here, Judge.
Would you brief them up on what they need to do as far as probation goes, please?
Yes, anyone that is placed on probation today, please take note. You will be contacted within the next 48 hours to set up an orientation time. Everybody grab a pencil, attorneys included. If you do not hear from the probation department via email, telephone, or text, you need to call them at this phone number, 210-335-7446. Again, this is only for the ones that are placed on probation today. If you do not hear from the probation department within 48 hours, you need to contact the probation department intake section, which is the number I just gave you. Advise them that you do not yet have an orientation time, and they will get one scheduled for you. If you still have problems, then you need to reach out to your attorney, who can reach out to myself or the judge, and we will get it taken care of for you. Thank you, Judge.
What is the phone number again?
It's 210-335-7446.
And that number is important because what we should say is the probation department is supposed to reach out to you within 48 hours, but they're kind of busy and they may not get there. So that number is going to be very important for you, so don't lose it. Okay, we finished on that one. Y'all are dismissed. Thanks for your help.
Thank you, Judge.
And we got that. Thank you. Let's jump to some. Do we have any Spanish cases ready yet, Pat?
We're ready, Your Honor. Your Honor, I just need to get the interpreter out of the room. Let me go in and get.
Wait. Let's talk about this for a second. We have one MTR and one plea that needs interpreter.
Exactly. And
are we ready on both of them, except we don't have an interpreter right now?
No, the interpreter is in a breakout room with the defendant and the attorney setting up the interpretation function. I don't know whether they're ready to come out. May I go in and join and find out?
Not yet. What case are we talking about that they're in the breakout room on?
You're frozen, Judge.
Can't hear you, Judge.
Test 1, 2.
Judge, we're ready, so it must be the plea. The MTR is ready.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm having network difficulties. All right. What case is the interpreter in the breakout room talking to them on?
Juan Martin Vasquez.
That is the plea.
First.
When they come out and what they're ready or not, we'll find out. Are they ready on Judge Joanne's Mr. Rodriguez case? That's an MTR.
Yes, Your Honor.
They are, but
all right. Why don't you go in and check on the interpreter, because we need to break the interpreter out as soon as possible if we can.
I am. That's what I would like to do. Thank you, sir.
All right. Wonderful. Make my day.
I will.
When we finish with these MTRs, we're going to jump back in on the pleas, and our batting order is going to be Marcus Vasquez, Little Cisco Salinas, Jimmy Rodriguez, Monica Moreno, Jeffrey Anderson, and then Eloisa Martinez, and then Eric Johnson.
There's also me, Judge.
Who did I miss?
Leslie Sahanovich. Storm Garcia, Gracia.
Your Honor,
Oh, yeah, I don't have paperwork on that yet. I'm waiting to get paperwork. She allegedly sent it, but it's not coming through properly. So you're right. You're in there still.
Judge, I also have the MTR.
Let's take a quick break and let me check the paperwork. When Pat comes back, tell her I'm checking paperwork.
I'm here.
Checking paperwork on Mr. Gracia's case. It didn't come through the last time I looked.
Your Honor, the problem is that they did not send it through Adobe Sign. And then I had to try to get it to where it was a PDF paperwork, and it does not translate and it doesn't fit in the way it does. If Mr. Gracia had done it the way he was supposed to by signing it and then sending it to you, it would have automatically gone to you. But by him sending that paperwork to his attorney, I can't fix it. It's not going to work.
Okay, the problem I'm having with Mr. Gracia's paperwork, it comes through and there's half of one document on the page and half of a second document.
Exactly.
So how can we fix that?
We can fix it is for Mr. Gracia to go back to Adobe Sign, because he has not signed it. He's not signed it. There's no signature on that paperwork, Judge. I checked it.
Mrs. Zakanowicz, are you with us today?
I am, Judge.
You think you can give Mr. Gracia some guidance on how to do this?
Yeah, I can do it.
Why don't you go back and try to redo the paperwork so that it's correct? Pat, tell Mr. Zakanowicz again exactly what he needs to do.
But he's already signed it. It's Mr. Gracia that needs to. If I have to resend the paperwork, I'll do it right now.
Yeah, let's just resend it right now.
Okay, then
This
give,
way we can, and I can walk
then
him
I will
through
do
it.
that.
And I'll walk him through it.
Okay, Your Honor, I believe everybody's back on for this interpreter.
All right. Are we ready for cause number 627043, State of Texas versus Mena Martin Rodriguez with Judge Joanne De Hoyos as attorney?
Ready, Your Honor.
Okay, I just marked my translation thing English, so hopefully that's working. Yes, I can. All right, Judge Joanne, I apologize. Did you say you're ready to proceed?
Ready, Your Honor.
Great. This is cause number 627043, State of Texas versus Mena Martin Rodriguez. This is a second amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Representing the state is Mr. Guillermo Flores. Representing the Bexar County CSCD is Ms. Susan Gross, who I remind is still under oath from this morning. And representing the defendant is Judge Joanne De Hoyos. My understanding is that this is uncontested motion to revoke probation. Judge De Hoyos, is that accurate?
Your Honor, there's some pleas of true and some pleas of not true. I'm not exactly sure how you want to handle it, but there are several paragraphs is pleading true too.
Well, you have two options I'm aware of under the law. One is you can plead not true and allow me to be the trier of fact when determining whether that particular allegation is true or not true. Or you can request a contested MTR, or you can do what we normally do and plead either true or not true with an explanation, and we go forward.
The normal way, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's okay. May I bring to the court's attention a small technical matter? The client's name is not Mena Martin Rodriguez. His true name is Martin Rodriguez Mena.
Oh.
It's helpful to know. All right, Pat, are you with us?
Yes, Your Honor. The problem is, hold on. The problem is, Your Honor, is that the system, that's how he was booked.
Oh, no, I'm
That's
not
how he was booked, and
blaming
that's how he was
anybody. It just needs to be administratively corrected. That's all we're talking
Right, that's all I'm asking. True name finding from the court.
Okay, so it's Martin
Rodriguez Mena.
Okay, thanks. I will let them know.
For the record, this is cause 627043, which is originally styled State of Texas versus Mena Martin Rodriguez, but we have corrected that and to the correct name, which is Martin Rodriguez Mena. Would that be accurate, Judge De Hoyos?
That is correct. That is per my client.
So, Mr. Mena, on the second amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, how do you plead, sir?
Your Honor, on violation of condition number 2 on page 1 on the January 20th, not true explanation. On violation of number 14, page 1, true. On violation of condition number 15, page 1, true. And on violation number 15, true on page 1. I believe Susan will agree that he did complete number 17, so that's not true. She did find the certificate. On page true, and on page 2, I'm sorry, condition number 2, the first one, I guess you can call it A, page 2 of 3, that's not true. Number 15, not true. Number 2, true with an explanation. I would call that after second amended 2B, I guess. And number 15, true with an explanation.
All right, hang on, I'm gonna try and clarify this so that we all know what we're doing. All right, for purposes of clarification, what I'm going to do is when we have more than one violation of a condition, for instance, we have 3 violations of condition number 2, some on the first page, some on the second page. In the normal numerical order they're going, let's say the first violated condition number 2 is going to be 2A, and the second violated condition number 2 is going to be 2B, and the third violation of condition number 2 is going to be 2C. Same thing with the other numbers. We apparently have violation of number 15, and we have an A, and we have a B, and we have a C on that one, 3 different allegations. And I think that's it. Does that sound right, Judge Wynn?
Yes, Your Honor. And he's
All right.
pleading not true to all of them, any
So-
alcohol use.
Would you take me by the hand now? Let's start at the very first, and I apologize, it's just confusing for me. I assume it's confusing for everybody. On page 1, violating condition number 2, which we're labeling 2A. Is that true or not true with an explanation?
Not true. Not true, Your Honor.
Thank you. Violation condition number 14, on page 1.
True, Your Honor.
Violated condition number 15A for clarification, page 1.
Not true, Your Honor.
Violated condition number 15.
That's
That
true.
would be B on the first page. True?
True. Mhm.
Violated condition number 17 on the first page.
Not true.
And on the second page, violated condition number 2, which we're labeling 2B.
Not true.
And violated condition number 15, which we're labeling 15C for clarification.
Not true, Your Honor.
And violated condition number 2, and we're labeling C for clarification.
True with an explanation.
And violated condition number 15 on page 2, we're labeling 15C for clarification.
True with an explanation.
All right. So these are either true with an explanation or not true with an explanation. Does that sound right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Fair enough. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Manis' probation?
Yes, sir. His reporting has been good. We last saw him on July 22nd, 2021. He has only paid $102 towards his fees, and he has a balance of $1,567. The case is expired as of June 17th, 2021. We have no record of any of his 48 hours of community service having been done. We do have certificates of completion for DWI education, victim impact panel, and CATSNP. He also completed a 1-month session of weekly drug testing. He has 2 positives for alcohol via the Smart Start mobile device, 8 negative drug tests, 2 failure to submit to drug testing. He is on Smart Start testing at 4 times a day. On the motion, he has 19 skip tests and 2 high bracs, which registered at 0.126 and 0.030. He has continued to use the device, even though the case is expired, and his last report did register 17 additional skips to the 19 that he had already have alleged on the motion. This is his 4th violation report, 2nd motion to revoke. He has no criminal history. His original fine is $600, and his officer is recommending revocation.
Judge DeHoyos?
Your Honor, my client informs me, as you know, as you're now aware, there is a CAT certificate, so that one should be take care of that. He informs me that he emailed regarding the skip blows his probation officer, Teresa Meninsa, I think her name is, and informed that he did not have money, but he went and paid the next opportunity at a paycheck. That's why it was out of order. He did not have money when asked. So the skip drug test had to do with finances. His skipped times on his monitor is that he works in construction and he's not able to blow if he's outside or not near an ability to embarrass himself in front of workers. He said he informed that to the probation officer. Regarding any allegations of alcohol, my client insists he's never drank alcohol since the time he's been put on probation. He's emailed his probation officer, asked for a new monitor, and never responded back. He has kept his monitor on, even though he's working, and he is asking the court to close his probation or to give him less time than 180 days. We understand that the case has expired. And he has also waived his 10 days for preparation, Your Honor. I'm sorry. Forgot to put that on the record.
No criminal history, correct, Susan?
No, Your Honor.
State recommendation?
The state agrees with probation recommendation, Judge. Yes, we agree with probation's recommendation.
Okay, Mr. Mena, and cause 627043, the court accepts your that's plea of not true to condition 2A, true to condition 14, not true to condition 15A, true to condition 15B, not true to condition 17, not true to condition 2B, not true to condition 15C, true to condition 2C, and true to condition 15C. I grant the state's motion to revoke your deferred adjudication probation. I adjudicate you guilty of the offense of driving while intoxicated, first offense. I sentence you to 45 days in the Bear County Jail. It says $1,000 fine plus court cost credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent. Judgment satisfied. Anything further from the state of the defense, Mr. Mena?
No, thank you.
Judge, I just have a message for the defendant.
Go ahead.
Paperwork will be completed and sent to Smart Start Mobile probably tomorrow. So Monday, he can go and turn in his device.
His
That's all.
wife can turn it in for him? His wife can turn it in for him? If he's in
Yes.
custody, he's in custody, so.
Well, I get that, but the paperwork probably won't get there till Monday and they won't take it without the paperwork.
Okay, all right.
And he'll be getting out of jail, so, but whoever.
Okay, so I just want, in case they charge him money, we want to get it to him as soon as possible. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. May be excused.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, are we ready on cause number 650107, State of Texas versus Juan Marroquin Vasquez with Mr. Dominic?
Yes, Your Honor, we're ready.
All right. Mr. Marroquin?
Sí, le escucho.
Sure, of course.
Sí, le escucho.
Are we ready to proceed? This once again is cause 650107, State of Texas versus Juan Marroquin Vasquez. Mr. Vasquez and Mr. Dominic, I'm looking at a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference that purports to have each of your signatures on it. Mr. Marroquin Vasquez, is this your signature on this document, sir?
His video blacked out, Your Honor. I think we might have issues.
Okay. For all other parties that are going on here, if you want to turn your pictures off so you can do some other work in some capacity, just leave your audio on so when we get to you, you'll hear us talking. You're welcome to do that. I apologize, these take forever to do, but they do.
There he is. He's back.
Okay, Mr. Vasquez, can you hear me?
Estás en mute. Sí.
Sí, señor.
Okay. Mr. Vasquez, I'm looking at a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference that looks like it has your signature on it. Is this your signature?
Sí.
Thank you. And Mr. Dominic, as attorney for Mr. Vasquez, is this your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Vasquez, the next document I'm looking at is entitled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonition that purports to have your signature on the back, effectively waiving certain constitutional rights you must waive in order to enter a plea before this court. In fact, Mr. Vasquez, is this your signature on this document also?
Sí, señor.
Mr. Vasquez, by signing this document, are you telling me that you've had enough time to either read this document or have it read to you in its entirety? If you had any questions about what was on this document, those questions were answered to your satisfaction by your attorney, Mr. Dominic, so that in signing this document, you're telling me that you agree with and understand everything on this document. Is that correct, sir?
Sí, señor.
Mr. Dominic, as attorney for Mr. Vasquez, have you had enough time to go over this case with him? And in your opinion, is he mentally competent?
Yes, Your Honor, and I am.
Mr. Vasquez, are you a United States citizen, sir?
No, señor.
Mr. Vasquez, if you are not a citizen of the United States of America, a plea of guilty or nolo contendere for the offense charged may result in your deportation, your exclusion from admission to this country, or the denial of naturalization under federal law. Mr. Vasquez, have you discussed with your attorney and been made aware of the mentioned consequences? And are you still now wanting to, unknowingly wanting to enter a plea to this offense?
Sí, señor.
Mr. Dominic, as attorney for Mr. Vasquez, have you had the ability to discuss with him the possible problems he may encounter with regard to his immigration status if he enters a plea to this crime?
Yes, Your Honor, we have a signed plea letter.
And after your discussion, did he indicate to you he still wanted to go forward on a plea bargain with the state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Dominic, as attorney for Mr. Vasquez, has the state fully complied with discovery for you on this case?
I believe they have, Your Honor.
Okay.
Sí, sí, señor. Ok, perdón.
And state, are you waiving the enhancement on this case?
I don't think so, Judge.
Okay, so my notes are confusing on this. Mr. Dominic, is it your understanding that Mr. Vasquez is going to plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated with a blood or breath alcohol content greater than 0.15?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's not on the paperwork, but I'll fix it, no problem. Okay, Mr. Vasquez, in clause 650107 to the charge of driving while intoxicated with a blood or breath alcohol content greater than 0.15, how do you plead, sir?
Culpable.
Is there an agreement for Mr. Vasquez?
Yes, Your Honor. 364 days Bexar County Jail, probated for 1 year, $500 fine, court costs, 36 hours of community service, DWI education, victim impact panel, CAT SNP, Smart Start mobile device for 6 months, and pay restitution to DPS in the amount of $60, and that is for the lab.
Actually, reimbursement, I think we're just paying them back for doing a blood test or something. Now what we're doing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and Mr. Dominic, is that your understanding of the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Vasquez, in clause 650107, the court accepts your plea of guilty to the offense of driving while intoxicated with a blood or breath alcohol content greater than 0.15. I find you guilty. It says 364 days in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 1 year, a $500 fine plus court costs, 36 hours of community service, DWI education, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program, which is our outpatient drug program, Smart Start mobile home interlock at 4 blows a day for 6 months, and reimbursement to the Texas Department of Public Safety in the amount of $60. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Vasquez?
Nothing from the state.
Nothing for defense, Your Honor.
Good luck, Mr. Vasquez. Thank you, Mr. Dominic.
May we be excused, Your Honor?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Have a great day. Juan, ya puedes salirte de la sesión de Zoom. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Of course, thank you. Thanks so much for your help. We're gonna take a 5-minute break, and then we're gonna come back on, and here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take up Mr. Marcus Vasquez. We're gonna take up Little Cisco Salinas, Jimmy Rodriguez, Monica Moreno, Jeffrey Anderson, Eloisa Montoya, Eloisa Martinez, and Eric Johnson. And we're
Your
gonna.
Honor,
Your
Yes.
Honor, Mr. Gracia has the paperwork in his email. He can sign it now.
I'll do that on my 5-minute break. Thanks.
No, you're not ready yet. Mr. Gracia needs to send it, sign it. The defendant needs to.
I understand.
And Judge, could you put Shannon Locke and Michael Casanova on that list also?
I've got it, but we've got you for an MTR. These are pleas.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you so much.
We got you, no problem.
Awesome, thank you.
Hello, Patricia.
Yes, sir.
I was wondering, we need a motion to reduce the removal order on Smart Start.
Okay, well, Judge, that will be taken care of once they take the plea.
Okay, so the judge can take
That will
it.
be taken care of once, if he gets him off Smart Start.
Ms.
Benavides? Ms. Benavides,
Yes,
is there a way I can talk to my lawyer in private?
yes, I've asked him if he wanted to go into a breakout room. He has not answered me, but I will put you in now, Mr. Casanova, and get your attorney in there. Go into room 3. Okay, room 3, Mr. Locke.
What we need is a little bit more stress.
Oh, good. We got Mr. Storms down. Yes.